guys, how's it going? Welcome to this week's recap video and Happy New Year. I hope you guys have all had a really wonderful holiday season. I know we're still kind of in it. In fact, today, maybe the day that you're watching this video, we are going to be out at my parents' house celebrating my dad's birthday. His birthday is on the first day of the year.
Watching football.
Yeah, watching football, eating good stuff. So our resolutions for the New Year's.
Out the window.
Yeah, they always have to start on the 2nd if we're going to have resolutions. Do you have resolutions for this year?
You know, I always kind of want to, but then what happens is the first rolls around, your parents always have good food.
Yeah.
And then I kind of just, like, well, okay, I'll start on the 2nd. And then the 2nd rolls around, like, well, I already kind of ruined it for the first. Next year.
We're all or nothing sort of people.
Next year.
Yeah. Any other resolutions, though, apart from, like, not eating all the good food?
So this year, I want to try to stand more in the evenings. So, like, I've heard people talking about how, like, sitting just ages you faster than anything else. During the day, it's not as important, but during the evening, it's really easy to just, sit a lot, especially this time of year.
Yeah.
Because you can't go outside. It's less important during the summer. But I think that'd be like an interesting thing to, like, set a timer on my watch, like a time that I would normally be sitting. Just set a timer in the evening, and you have to stand for like an hour.
That's a good goal.
If I do it, especially during the times where I would normally be sitting, hopefully I can offset.
Yeah.
And then maybe like increase the time over time.
Well, that'll get easier and easier as we approach spring.
Yeah, right.
I was just mentioning to Aaron last night, it seemed like it's getting lighter, it's staying lighter rather for longer in the evenings, and even just those few minutes. It was like 5:40 or something. I was like, I can still see stuff outside.
Right.
Just like last week, it was dark by 5:30. I don't love that. I mean, it's great for a specific amount or a short amount of time, but once we hit January, I'm like ready to roll, and I am. I think I'm gonna actually start some seeds, and I'll film it for you guys. Yay! Seed starting season is going to begin. I am not gonna probably do any winter sowing this year.
Well, really?
Yeah, I decided that I just don't think I want to do that. I've done it for several years. We've got enough set up now, and with the greenhouse, I feel like it's just an extra project that I don't need to have on my
Do you
schedule.
feel like you kind of forget about it a little bit? Like it's,
Yeah. Tending to other things,
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's jump into the videos from this past week, which there are only 4 of them.
Right. It's a short week.
This will be a little bit shorter unless we talk a long time about things. I don't know what these questions are. In fact, you guys, and I think we've mentioned this several times, but Aaron grabs questions. I don't read them until I sit here. So it's always a surprise.
If they're bad questions, you can blame me.
No, you pick good ones.
Is it bright in here? I feel like I'm squinting. Is it just my eyes?
Well, no. I mean, it's overcast, but I think with all maybe the window glare, and it's a bright day.
I feel like I need to do this. Oh, that's so much better.
Yeah, I can tell that you're more comfortable. Do you want to get your sunglasses?
No, I'm okay.
You sure?
Yeah, I'll just do this.
That's how I felt yesterday. We filmed a recap of 2022, but it was bright sunny out here, and I don't wear sunglasses, so my eyes are pretty used to bright, but it was like extra bright and it hurts. Okay, so the first video what?
I'm sitting over here with my dyed hair.
Okay. Now Aaron is a little bit offended by a comment made last week or a week before.
I wasn't gonna say anything about it.
About your hair.
Okay, well, here's what it was. Somebody said, I'm paraphrasing and I might get it a little bit wrong. This is how offended Aaron took it. You shouldn't dye your hair, Aaron. You shouldn't dye your hair. I know you're trying to look 10 years younger, but you actually look 10 years older. I haven't dyed my hair. The last time I dyed my hair, I was like 15. And it was a thing to, like, bleach blonde your hair. Maybe it was just a thing, like, in our little small group. But I think it was a thing. Because remember, like, NSYNC and stuff?
They had the
like,
yellow
tips.
Yeah,
and it was yellow. It wasn't bleach blonde. It was just yellow, kind of orangey hair. But that was the last time I've dyed my hair, so
it's been a while. So you're wrong. Whoever made that comment, you're wrong. That's so funny. Welcome to my world, Aaron.
Yeah, right.
I get so many comments about that. It's like it doesn't even register anymore.
Yeah.
About hair and, whatever. Anyway, okay, so first video from this last week was Christmas shopping with my mom. We decided it was the week of Christmas. It was like two or 3 days before Christmas. We decided to take some time, head over to Boise. We were pretty much done with shopping, but we thought it would be fun just to take some time. I mean, we stopped and got pedicures, which we don't do ever. I think that's the first time we've ever done that on one of those trips. We didn't go to our normal spots. We just weren't in the mood. You know, sometimes you got to be in the mood to go antiquing. And we just thought it would be fun to go to lunch, do a little shopping at the Village, which is in Meridian, Idaho. It's a shopping complex that's really beautiful. I mean, they have a huge fountain in the center and a lot of places to eat. And then we went to Franz Whitty on the way home, which is a garden center we've been to many times in video too. But they had a beautiful selection of houseplants and Christmas stuff, and I loaded up on ornaments. It was a really beautiful day. I just really enjoyed myself. Bob said, I would rather watch you guys organize your garden tools than see foot care. Garden answer, no. I hear ya. In fact, I was a little bit like, probably shouldn't share any of this, but it is part of our day. I cut the footage down to like nothing compared to the amount of footage I did get. So you're welcome.
We can make an entire behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Extended edition.
You know, this time of year, it's kind of like almost anything goes, and because there's just not as much going on.
You've tried really hard over the years to keep the content related
Focused.
to gardening.
Yeah. And we will keep trying to do that.
We've done a pretty good job.
Even as our content has evolved, because it used to be very project-based and more educational, I guess, very structured, and it's turned into a little bit more like vlog style, like come along with me for my day. A little bit of family stuff sprinkled in there, and I don't try to add that in on purpose. It just happens sometimes.
Yeah, overall, I think you've done a really good job keeping it gardening. This time of year, it's a little bit of a grab bag because, you know, I don't know. I want to go somewhere, like in January. I want to go somewhere for like a month and just because there's nothing to do here. But it's, you know, with the kids, I don't think that they would appreciate. Benjamin's a homebody. Oh, he's like a homebody.
Even
to the
if
max.
He's with us, and I'm like that too.
Yeah, you are. I can see that, and I see the two of you are the same.
Yeah, we take him out for a special day, and he's like, "Can we go home? I'm ready to be home." You know.
And he's not complaining.
No.
He's just like honestly telling you, like, I just like to be home.
Which makes me happy. Makes my heart happy that he likes home.
So going somewhere in January, I don't know if the kids would actually appreciate that, or
maybe.
You know.
Maybe if it was like a beach place, they would like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Kim said, this was such fun. First, you and your mom look so beautiful. Thank you. Second, do you guys ever disagree? Do we disagree ever? Do you think?
Well, your family isn't very
confrontational.
You're not confrontational.
But
so
is
if
there
you
anything
did
to
disagree, you wouldn't. I don't think you would tell each other. You just kind of move on.
I guess. I mean, I can't even really think of anything. Our styles are very, very similar. There might be a time where I do something that maybe she wouldn't do, and maybe she does something that maybe I wouldn't do exactly, but we have very similar taste in color and design aesthetic. I mean, that's what I grew up in, and it's what feels like home to me. Monica, you know, my little sister, she's completely different than my mom and I. She's got more of a kind of like quirky, whimsical style with a little bit more color, and I love that too. That's kind of what I love about Christmas a little bit, like decorating for Christmas, is that, you know, we've got several trees that we've got going. So you can have your, you know, pretty great room tree, you know, your standard traditional tree, and then you can try out different themes on other trees, and that's always quite fun. In fact, this is the only tree we still have up right behind me. I'm taking ornaments off, but we're going to leave the tree up with lights in here, because at night, when everything else is off, and in fact, Paul started taking down Christmas lights today, but when everything is off, it like glows in here, and it's just so pretty. I just love it. Cindy said, I have a question about the snowflakes your mom made last year from paper bags. Is each bag cut individually? No. I had a really hard time cutting through 8 bags. Yes, it can be quite hard to cut through some of them. I like to use, they're like a metal shear.
Oh, just like a tin snip?
Maybe that's the name of them.
Yeah. But
they work really nicely. In fact, that's what I used when we were doing the gingerbread houses. We were cutting all of that cardboard up, and cardboard is really tough, some of them. Some cardboard is a little bit more flimsy, but some it's really hard to cut through. But those shears really did a great job. All right, we took a really quick break so Aaron could go grab his sunglasses. Are you more comfortable now?
Yeah, I am.
Good. Okay, Gail said, love to go out and about with you. Does the store with the ornaments have a website? They do, don't they? franzwitty.com.
Yeah, I don't think they sell ornaments. I got on it at one point, and it seemed like They don't ship, I don't think.
Oh.
I think you can order online and you can go to the store and
they'll gather it for you.
Yeah,
and,
pick
sure.
it up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I think they started it during COVID when it was like what was that called? Curbside pickup thing.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Angie said, how do you organize and store your beautiful ornaments? Well, toward the end of this week, or this video, I'll talk about that a little bit more, because I did put together a video showing you taking down some of the Christmas decorations, but most of them go in tubs, and they're organized by tree theme, basically, or whatever else will fit in the tub. And I do wrap all of the I wrap all the breakable ornaments in paper towels or like tissue paper or bubble wrap, depending on like how breakable they are, and kind of just stack them, making sure that heaviest stuff goes on the bottom, lightest stuff goes on the top. It's not a very like great organizational system or great packing. Like you could never ship my tubs anywhere. They would break in a second. But when all you're doing in the year is carrying that tub from the house to the barn loft and it sits on a shelf until the next year when you grab it and bring it into the house, it works really well for me. Angelica said, how is it possible that Laura just got her first Proven Winners indoor plant? Proven Winners needs to send her a few for an unboxing. I had anxiety looking at all those Proven Winners plants thinking to take them all. You know, Proven Winners, I wondered if anybody would wonder that. Proven Winners is really careful about what they ask me to do, because they know that houseplants aren't on the top of my list. I mean, they are right now because that's what I have time to turn my attention to. And, you know, I like the fresh green and I like getting fresh plants this time of year. But once spring hits, like houseplants are just kind of shoved to the side. They take a total backseat. And I don't know if it was because I was inundated with houseplants when I was at the garden center. I mean, I was in charge of them. I ordered them, I took care of them, and it was just like, ugh. You know, I always enjoyed outside stuff more than that, or than those. So Proven Winners doesn't want to send me things that they know I've talked to you guys about not liking. You know, it's not that I don't like them.
It's
I hate
the time
that,
of year. It's the time of year.
Yeah. Which I really appreciate about working with Proven Winners. You
Yeah,
know,
right.
Like it's never been a forced relationship. They don't want me to try to like sell things that I don't like, and I wouldn't do that anyway. So
Right.
It's a really great thing. But I was excited to see all of them because I haven't seen, I mean, a lot of them are standard plants that, you know, I've had before or taken care of before. They just have like a collection now. Some of them might be more exclusive. I'm not really sure. But it was fun to see all those labels and see the plants looking so healthy and great. I still haven't repotted the one I picked up. I need to do that like soon. Jess said, does the background music cause demonetization problems for the video? Hopefully not, but I don't know. Not on YouTube.
It does actually.
On YouTube?
Almost every single time you and your mom
Really?
go out, I have to.
I get the question. Background
Yeah.
music at the store.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll upload the video and then I'll get a copyright strike shortly after, and then I have to go and edit the video, like upload it again, because you try to take out the section that has the, you know, Jason Derulo. That was the last one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it'll say like, you know, this artist or whatever, and it's just something playing in the background that,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, almost every time.
Next video was planting microgreens in my parents' potting shed and a tour of my parents' Christmas decor. So that was funny because when we were out shopping, my mom was like, you know, I think I'm going to start some microgreens again in the potting shed. I've just spent some time cleaning out there. And I just told her, oh, you've got to try these jute pads that I tried out last year from Gardener Supply. Let me do it for you. So I thought it'd be fun to go out there and plant some microgreens for my parents. But also, while we were at it, we took a look at the potting shed, and my mom was let us in to look at her Christmas decor, which was really a treat. Yeah. So Amy said, so special getting a tour of your parents' home. Thank you. Our moms are very similar. Mine is a maximalist. Are you going to film any of the renovations? It would be really interesting to watch. I mean, we might film little snippets of it, but basically, for those of you familiar kind of with the layout, where their deck is now, which we've shown their deck quite a number of times, that's going to become interior. So the house will push out and envelop that deck area, and that will become the new dining room area, while the current dining room is going to be more seating area. And then there'll be a new deck pushed out into the yard. So anyway, a lot of stuff going on there. Joanna said, does anyone know what variegated plant by the corner window is in this video? That's a variegated rubber tree of some variety. Ficus. I don't know the exact variety.
Do they call it a rubber tree because it's flexible, or because they actually get rubber from it?
I don't know.
Oh.
Next comment, this microgreen concept is so new to us. Can you do some videos on harvesting and how you fix them for a meal? Where can I Google to see how they are used? I have a microgreen kit and seeds, but not sure entirely yet. Yeah, that's a great idea. I mean, I need to still start mine here. So maybe we can do some more in-depth stuff and actually use them in a meal. I think one time I did microgreens, or maybe they were sprouts. Remember those turkey burgers that I made?
I think those were sprouts.
Were they sprouts?
Yeah.
Also good. I love sprouts. James said, where did your mother get the Little Drummer Boy musical set? Okay, so she and I went to this like Christmas flea market last year, and the whole thing was kind of, we have fond memories of it because there was one booth where she bought this, that they had all kinds of good stuff. I bought some like vintage John Deere lights, Christmas lights.
Oh, yeah.
I bought something else. Can't remember what it is, but she bought a couple of different things at that booth, including those, and the rest of the whole show was like real like trinkety, like stuff we weren't really interested in, but we were thankful that we went and paid the entry fee to get into this flea market just for that one booth. The kids loved that set. Daisy said, is your mom's potting shed heated? Is that why the house plants can be in there? I didn't see a heater. Yes, it is heated. So we showed the wall unit inside our potting shed. We had the same wall unit installed in ours because Eddie, who did the renovations in their potting shed, also built our shed. And when the walls were still open, he said, do you want me to just install this heater? It'll add like a couple extra $100. I guess. Yes, do that. And he said that for hers, like that heater, it heats it up like a
Fast,
lot.
I'm sure, yeah.
And our shed is maybe twice the size as her shed, and that heater works great for our space as well. So they do keep it heated in there, so it's a nice little area to go and be when it's cold outside. Brandy said, okay, please, we must know, Mom, what was in 23 and 24? So I showed you an advent calendar in the Christmas tour portion of the video that my dad had bought for my mom, and he filled every single one of the drawers with fun things. So some of the drawers were full of like jewelry. My mom has wanted these emerald and diamond, she's into the emeralds right now, emerald and diamond earrings. There was a necklace, a bracelet, kind of strewn throughout those drawers. There's also gift cards that they were small gift cards that all in the end added up to something, a little bit larger. And then sometimes it would be like a truffle or something like that, like a really fancy candy or something along those lines. And then underneath the tree, my mom told my dad, like, this better be it. I don't want to see any gifts under the tree because you've outdone yourself with this gift. But to top the whole thing off, he got her the emerald and diamond ring, which is, to me, the prettiest piece out of the whole set. So he really did outdo himself this Christmas. It was really fun to see. In fact, he showed me the whole thing before Christmas, December 1st, before the whole thing started, and he showed me some of the things in there, and he was excited about it. Denise said, maybe I missed it, but are microgreen seeds a special seed, or are they just regular seeds that you harvest earlier? Regular seeds that you harvest earlier. And a lot of times if you get them as microgreen seeds, you'll get them in larger packets because it just takes more. Also, just curious, are the beams in your mom's shed structural, providing stability, or are they just decorative? I think they're structural.
I think they are too, because they were there before.
Yeah, they were. I think they are structural. Next video was repotting 65 plus plants in the greenhouse. I just spent some time in there and it was wonderful, you guys.
What was the exact number of plants you were potting?
Somebody commented about how we didn't want to use that. No, I didn't want to use that number in a title because you never know.
Yeah.
And, you never know, like if somebody, I don't know, just try to be careful with stuff like that. Anyway, don't.
It was less than 70.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, I spent some time in the greenhouse repotting some Rudbeckia, some Helichrysum. You still look pleased over there with yourself. Helichrysum.
Well, it was funny that you were like, what do we title this? I don't want to say what the number was.
Well, anyway, things are looking really good in there, and I feel like I've got a really firm grasp on stuff in there. I love to go through every area and feel like it's fresh and ready to go for the next push of things that we are going to have going on. Nicholas said, are the cats barn cats only, no litter boxes? Nope, no litter boxes, which is
used to.
Awesome.
We used to have
litter boxes, but they
Russell.
didn't use the litter boxes. So
yeah, right.
Like, why have it if it's just going to sit there? Yeah, the cats are spoiled cats. You guys, they are everywhere. They're everywhere. They have heated beds in the barn, and they have the heated greenhouse to sleep in. Anyway, they sneak their way inside the house. Often you find them on the back of a couch sometimes. But anyway, I don't know that they do their job in terms of like mousing.
No.
Like mice population. They're so well fed
Yeah.
that I don't know that I don't ever see them with any kind of, yeah. Connor said, this looks like the perfect task to listen to music or a podcast while working. Do you listen to anything while you work? I do not. The only time I did this year, I put in AirPods and just listened to music while I was trimming boxwoods, because that hedge trimmer, after a while, it kind of gets to you a little bit.
You do while you're cooking or things like that. You'll put on a show
I'll put
on
on
your
a
phone.
show. Yeah. And it's just like sitting, like my phone has a show playing and it's like off to the side. And
What do you watch?
oh,
Do you want to say?
stuff. No. That's my business. Okay, Michelle said, what are the dimensions? Oh, dimensions? I'm guessing, of your greenhouse. I'm researching that for a project. Also, what kind is it? So it is 26 feet wide, 20 feet wide, 36 feet long. It is a Gothic arch frame, cold frame, from
Growers
Friend.
Supply.
Grower Supply, isn't it like something Friend?
No, Farmer's Friend is the Caterpillar tunnels.
I thought that was Farm Tech.
Yeah, well, it's the same company.
Is
I
it,
think it's like Growers Supply and Farm Tech is the same company.
Okay.
One of them caters more toward gardening, or what do you call that when people grow in greenhouses? And the other one caters more toward farmers,
Okay.
like agriculture.
Margie said, well, you have to hand pollinate the tomatoes since the normal pollinators are hibernating. Oftentimes, you don't have to hand pollinate them. They'll still set fruit, but they just won't set as well. So I go along and just tap the blooms. As long as you tap those blooms and just kind of get them like worked up a little bit, it works really well. Agnes said, I keep forgetting to ask, how are your magnolia and eucalyptus branches that you use in Christmas arrangements preserved, and how do they stay leafy and green? The eucalyptus and magnolia look really good. The eucalyptus dries, so it does get a little bit more dusty in color. And the magnolia does eventually too, but it looks good through our winter season. The myrtle dried up like froze and looked kind of crummy. I mean, it's providing structure. I'm looking outside the window right now, but I won't use it again in winter arrangements. The pittosporum, however, I will use again. And I don't know if it's just because it's underneath, it's in the portico area, so it's underneath the balcony. It's on the east side of the house, so it's very protected from wind and any kind of like extreme cold hitting it, but that has held up just so gorgeous. And I did notice a few comments saying it's not going to hold up because it's not hardy in your area, which it's not. We can't grow it here, but I will use that again. But myrtle, I will not. So there you go. Annette said, I don't know what made me think of this, but I was thinking about it as I was watching your video. I was wondering, where do Paul and Bethany and whoever else you have on staff go to eat lunch or take potty breaks? Inquiring minds want to know. Our house. Our house. And then, there's heated areas. There's the studio, there's the greenhouse, there's the Hartley, and they're welcome to go anywhere they want to go. Whenever they want to, because they're awesome. Kay said, what was the actual time did it take to repot all of the plants? It probably took me 2 hours at max, but I was moving the camera around a lot. So it could have been a lot faster of a project. But that's not too bad, I don't think.
No, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think so. Madeline said, I just watched a wintertime greenhouse tour from a couple years ago, and your greenhouse was absolutely packed with plants. It struck me how empty it looks now. It was because we were wintering over all of our perennials and shrubs in there before it was heated, which my parents still do down at their garden center. It's just their high tunnel is just an unheated high tunnel, so it takes the edge off the cold, but it protects it from anything extreme. So if you walk in there right now, it's completely loaded up with plants, which is helpful for like hellebores and pansies that they're carrying over. They always start to bloom a little bit earlier. The hellebores look a lot better. But now that we heat our greenhouse, we can't carry things over like that, because a lot of the perennials and shrubs that we plant here, they need a cold period in order to perform. So they're just outside. We huddle them together behind the greenhouse so they aren't like exposed all the way around their pots to really cold air, and they seem to do okay. We have very little loss. We do keep them on a watering schedule. I mean, right now they all have snow on them. We've been getting rain, so we kind of would skip watering at that point, or if they're frozen solid, like solid blocks of ice. But if we have long dry periods, we will water them. Next video was organizing and putting away all of our Christmas decor. And you gave me a minute. I need to get in my Zen place before I haul off into this one.
I did
Just
not
kidding.
know that people were going to be upset about putting decorations away early. Well, early, just for us, at normal time, it's not even early.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to read these these questions. Love to Garden said, Advent begins on December 1st and ends on December 24th. On December 25th, Christmas begins and lasts for 12 days, from the birth of Christ until the Epiphany, when the wise men arrive from the east to greet the baby Jesus. Why are you taking down your Christmas decorations in the middle of Christmas? We're only on day 5.
That wasn't like a negative comment.
No,
either.
and I appreciate that.
I think that they were trying to understand why we're doing it in like the midst of the holiday season. The simple answer is just that, like, we're done celebrating Christmas. Like, we pretty much are done at Christmas. I didn't actually.
I guess
heard the
timeline
sheltered.
before, but
know
the timeline was all set not based on the actual,
Yeah, I heard
I don't
a lot
know
of
how
people
far
talking
you want
about
to get
like
into it, but
Epiphany Sunday. I didn't even know about that. Like,
I've heard people talk about it before because I think I remember having or seeing some comments about it before about why we take our decorations down. But I just don't understand like what Christmas trees have to do with all of that.
Right.
My Santa tree, does that really have to do with?
Yeah, are you allowed to take your Santa tree down on the 5th day of Christmas?
Also, like, I am good with, people observing whatever they want to observe.
Yeah.
Like, that's good, and I observe things different. We all observe things a little bit differently.
So, like, here is how I see it. And, people can celebrate whatever they want, and I'm happy that people celebrate. If you celebrate Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or Christmas or whatever, and however you want to celebrate those, I'm also fine with. I don't personally believe that Jesus was born on December 25th, right? Like, I'm no scholar.
Yeah.
I've heard people hypothesize that it was like sometime in September or October or something like that, right? So, like, you're already celebrating at the wrong time, but it's fine. Just pick a day. We've all kind of settled on December 25th, and I think that's great. Let's all just celebrate 25th. If you want to celebrate in September, though, because you think you know the day, more power to you. So I guess I just feel like it's already a made-up day that we just all agree on, and I think that's fine. Let people celebrate however they want to celebrate and take decorations down on whatever day they want to take them down.
Also, I do know a lot of people enjoy keeping their stuff up because it kind of brightens up the winter months, which I totally agree with. But we start decorating because we make video content. We have to do it a lot earlier because it takes so much more time.
But even before you made videos, you always had it up,
Not right after Halloween. It was always not Halloween, right by Thanksgiving.
But like December 1st, it was up.
Yeah, December 1st.
And I think even for some people, that's early.
Probably so, and it's even earlier now that we do videos. So we've had it up, some of it up for 2 months by the time Christmas is over, and I'm ready to start the year fresh. So that's just the way we do it. But you do you, absolutely, and I think that's great. Brian and Tammy Olson said, okay, silly question. Do you wrap each ornament in tissue or some sort of paper so they are cushioned in the boxes? Yes. So like I said earlier, when I've got really breakable stuff, I do have like a stack of bubble wrap that I've had from like the very early days of our marriage when I was packing up things. So I use the same bubble wrap every single year, the same paper towels every year, the same plastic bags every year. We don't even have plastic bags in Oregon anymore. Right. So like these are older. I wrap up breakable stuff. I just pile stuff in like plasticky stuff, or I've got a pile right here. Glittery snowflakes, these just go in a stack, and I put them in like a Ziploc bag so they don't glitter everything else up. Now I'm going to be glittered for the rest of the day. But anyway, it's a pretty low-key process, my organization. And Cheryl said, did you ever contemplate covering some of the trees and storing them decorated? As you get older, not having to completely decorate so many trees frees up time to enjoy other activities. You are the Energizer Bunny for sure. Oh, I think that would be just so awesome if I could do that. I just don't know how we would transport the trees. Like, some of those trees are so heavy.
Yeah, getting them out the door, too.
And then up into the loft, because that's where they'd have to go. I just don't know about where we would store them.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I love that idea. I love that idea, though, so much. Linda said, did I really see 8 watering cans in the loft? Yes. Okay, so that's funny. I had a vision of Laura as an octopus using them to water all the plants in the Hartley at one time. Work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
I wish.
Those were all really cheap watering cans.
They were. We had a young gal, help us out, not last year, but the year before. We didn't have our watering tank system figured out, and she was fertilizing all of the annuals. So what she would do, we got all those watering cans, she'd line them up in a gator, put all the fertilizer in the cans, fill all the cans up, and then go to the next area, use up all the cans, and then she'd fill them up again. And it was the most time efficient thing because you could get, you know, the most amount mixed up at the same time, and then it was still easy to use. You weren't having to like take a bucket and pour it into the watering can. It's like all the watering cans were lined up ready to go. And I have a couple of those in the greenhouse. I don't prefer that particular watering can. I like my blue one, my French blue one that has like more capacity to it. But they were cheap and they're handy to have every once in a while.
They were like $3 watering cans or something.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at the cost of, I think I bought 12 of them at the time. And I'm sure, you know, some are kind of all over the property at this point.
Yeah. S said, what color are you going to paint the piano room? I can't wait to see that transformation. I am so undecided on that right now. You know, I don't know. We go back and forth, and Aaron and I both agree that we like white when it's molding, and we like lots of molding, like panels. Like if the whole wall was just like all kinds of neat moldings, you know, that would be awesome. The thing about that room is that if I took it dark, because I took the front parlor dark, which is the room that connects to the piano room, and I don't like it dark because there's so much, bright light coming into that room that it looks like a hole. You walk by it and you're like, I can't even really see anything in this room because there's so much light coming in, and the walls are so dark that it just doesn't provide the right look, I guess.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I want to take it dark, although I do like our great room is the dark, it's called Thunder Gray. It's like a dark green gray and it's gorgeous and I love it. And our landing is like a dark navy. Our TV room is called Black Fox from Sherwin-Williams. And it's kind of like a deep brown, I guess, but it's really beautiful. I like those dark, moody colors. But then we struggle with, like, if we go light in the piano room, we've got all those dark molding in there, the old dark molding, which we both are struggling with, like, not painting it white.
Well,
but I would feel horrible painting it white.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I don't like dark molding with light
It
paint
looks
colors.
old. Me
It looks
either.
really old and
Yeah.
dated. It doesn't look like
It doesn't look like it belongs.
Well, it doesn't. Yeah, it just looks dated to me. It doesn't. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look like you're in keeping with the old, style of the home. It just looks bad to me. But
It's all subjective. Again,
yeah,
you do
of course,
you.
of course.
Yeah.
But you don't want to paint. It feels sacrilegious a little bit to like paint
the molding.
dark
That molding,
wood
though, is not. I mean, it might be the original. I don't even know if it's the original.
I don't think it's
wood.
original molding.
I think a lot of the molding was off the walls when the previous owners, our friends, owned the house or bought the house. A lot of it was in the basement, so they like fished out a lot of. Why somebody would pull moldings off the walls? I don't get it. So I don't know. They just kind of like pieced together stuff. And I think put it back up on the walls and then stained. I think it was stained after.
Yeah.
So I'm not even sure that the color's original. And the wallpaper that we thought might be original was not original. Who knows? I think it would be gorgeous white because it's nice big molding and it would be really pretty. And it would be bright and refreshing.
I feel like I just like moldings. Like I want everything.
Me too.
I don't want any naked
Yeah,
walls,
right.
like molding on everything.
I agree with that.
It might be kind of like, it might seem like a lot to a lot of people. I can throw up a picture of like
that
what
one
I
room
like.
that we really agree on.
You know
With
what
the
it is?
fireplace?
It's
Yeah.
Rob Lowe's house in California. I don't want to live in California, but if I could take that house and just plop it here, of course it's way too big. It's like 10,000 square feet, but it's gorgeous. And
It is.
it's like everything that I love about a home. I love the front of it. It looks colonial. I love the way I love the decor. I like the moldings on the walls. Everything about it I like.
And we, been working with an architect, kind of. We've been working with him over this past year. We're not ready to do any kind of major renovation because we've done other things like buying the land and the trees, stuff like that, have kind of taken priority. But we would love to plan a renovation for this house a few years down the road and kind of take some of the elements from the home that you love so much, and I like a lot of the style in there. The furniture choices are a little bit different from what I would do, but it all looks so pretty together the way they have it set up. But we would like to take our home in a little bit more of that direction, probably, and maintain a lot of the, like I want to keep the fireplace in the old side of the house. I would love to maintain the wood fireplace, the 3-way in the great room, but we've got to tear that rock fascia and that weird metal door. What's that heater doing? Mini split's doing something weird here.
Yeah, I don't
you
know.
hear it? It's like struggling.
Right.
It's like, Oh,
I think we're good.
okay. Anyway, so I don't know. I'm just kind of looking at those walls thinking like, I don't know. Maybe I need to buy some curtains. Maybe if I find some curtains that I love for those windows, we can just pick a color from the curtain and go with it.
Yeah.
I think maybe I'll take it that direction.
Sure.
For now. Crystal said, just curious, what does everyone do with the ribbon after they take it off the tree? Do you toss it or save it? Save it. I roll it up. So I take it off the tree and then I just try to make that first roll really tidy and then I just roll the rest of it up. So I've got like little rolls of ribbon and I put them in the tubs along with everything else. And I'm still using some of the very same ribbon that I used our very first Christmas together.
Do you remember ribbon candy?
Yeah, you can still buy it.
Can you?
Uh-huh.
Boy, I haven't had ribbon candy in a long time. That's like a childhood memory of mine. I just
Really?
thought about that. Yeah. I don't feel
You
like
don't
I've
see
had
it
that
in
for
a lot
like
of places.
20 years or more.
You can find it like Williams-Sonoma and like specialty stores
Uh-huh.
and candy shops. Maybe that candy shop we went to at the mall with
Yeah.
Benjamin probably
Huh.
had some. Paula said, since you have a large number of totes, is there a preferred style that you like, easiest to work with or longevity? I like the ones with the lids that you set on top and they have the clip sides
Mm-hmm.
for my stuff. Aaron picked up a bunch that have like the lids that fold onto each other kind of. They kind of have like things that
The
do this on the
interlock,
top. Yeah.
sort of.
I don't prefer those because they have holes. Like they're not not airtight. They're not airtight containers anyway, but there's more room for dust to get in with those type of totes. I use a lot of them because it doesn't really matter that much and I just use what we have. But also if you have like a pillow in one, when you have the type that snap on the top, you can kind of force it down a little bit. But if you have one that interlocks, your top will be like,
Sure.
you know, and you have to sit something bigger on top. And
Yeah.
I find myself trying to shove pillows in like any extra space that I have in totes. So I do prefer the ones with the clips.
I don't like totes that are too big because,
heavy.
you know, yeah, they get too heavy.
Yeah.
You load them up too much, and then honestly, you need two people to move them around.
Yeah.
That's a pain, or get them down.
Right.
That's a pain in the
A
butt.
huge
So
pain.
having smaller totes, I'm only having larger totes for things that you actually need to put a large item in.
Pillows are great. The big
Yeah,
totes.
yeah, right.
Last question was from Terry. What is the wall made of at your church that you screwed the words onto? Are there a lot of holes left behind? There's actually not that many holes. I mean, there was one for each word that I put up there. You can't see them at all. In fact, when I got the screws that got the words out, you know, you kind of like, I used a broom and broomed off the wall because there was like little bits of foam board left behind and little like white marks of plaster of Paris. So I totally cleaned that off. And you can't see the holes, especially from a distance, but it's made of it's like OSB or
Yeah,
is that
particle
right?
board maybe.
Particle
I'm not
board?
sure exactly
Is
what
that
it's
the same
called.
thing? I don't know.
Press board.
Yeah. But they never really finished the walls in there.
No, so here's what I think happened is that, you know, this was like
It was the year we got married.
15, 20 years ago, but they started on the
2006.
project before.
But
because
they painted the boards white
Yeah.
right in time for our wedding.
But they started the building prior to that, and
Yeah.
it was going really slowly because they were trying not to take
No debt.
No debt. They're trying to pay for everything with cash. So it was going really slowly, and so slow that we thought it was going to be done by the time of our wedding, and we thought we could use that as a reception area. But it kind of wasn't, but we just painted the particle board white, I think, right?
Yeah, and then we went up into the hills and got tons of like smaller trees, took the leaves off and wrapped them with lights, and so we had big bunches of lit trees around the room. It was really pretty.
Yeah, and then it just kind of stayed particle board.
Yeah, like it looks pretty good.
It's fine.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's kind of like an onion shed type building anyway. So
They've made it look really good though.
yeah,
for
it
being
looks
that type
really
of
good
building.
for what it is.
Yeah. And you guys, I think that is it for today's recap video. So the next one, well, we are in the new year. I was going to say the next one will be in the new year.
Yeah.
Nope, that's
Do
today's
you have
video.
any resolutions this year or anything you want to?
I used to be a resolution person, and now I try to be pretty relaxed because life is just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like to set up a standard that seems a little bit too strict.
Mm-hmm.
One year I wanted to record all the weight of everything that I picked out of the garden and record everything, and it kind of started to feel gross to me. I'm like, that doesn't matter. Is this space helping people?
Yeah.
Yes. Are we able to donate? Yes. And that makes me feel good.
Sure.
But trying it out one year, I bought a big scale and everything, and it was kind of fun. It is fun on occasion to weigh something, and I think I did with potatoes this year because I was curious how much a 60 by 4 foot row of potatoes could yield. And I think it's great in that case, but I abandoned the whole recording everything pretty quickly. I don't know. I think this year I'm really looking forward to refining areas around our house, not really launching into we don't have any big projects scheduled for this year. We kind of just want to like bring it back in and maybe focus a little bit more on some like harder core educational stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think that we've gotten a little bit away from that. And I think it would be good to add some of that back in, but then just continue to work on areas that just have nothing in them. Or,
Yeah.
I mean, this whole area around the Hartley, I mean, what a huge, amazing thing this structure is, and to really spend some time cultivating the area around it, you know,
Sure.
and finishing projects like the rock pathway out in the south garden. And, I don't know, just...
Well, we'll work on the north garden, because that's...
Yeah, we've got a lot to do yet,
Yeah, we have to decide what we're going to do with that.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of grass, because we'll be taking out some grass over here, I think, closest to the house. So we could add a little bit over there. Or maybe we could make it the secret garden that we talked about.
Yeah,
And-
it's just, that's the thing. It's just like, let's just let things happen as they
Yeah.
happen around here, focus a little bit more on that. Also, I am a little bit more determined to set the inside of our house up a little bit more to where it works for us to be able to host things better. And, because a lot of our focus has been outside. I mean, ever since we moved in,
Yeah.
that I still have paint from the last owners in
Yeah.
the house. And I just recently, I think I still have a shower curtain up in one of the bathrooms from like 6 years later.
Yeah.
I mean, I just have ignored a lot of the stuff in the house.
Well,
and
this year we finally swapped out all the faucets,
Yeah.
the fixtures in all the bathrooms
that were falling
upstairs.
apart, like chunks of metal were coming out.
Yeah.
Like falling off of the faucet.
Well, some of them probably have been there since it was built in the 80s.
Well, in the kids' bathroom, bathtub
Yeah.
is still like that olivey brown green.
Yeah, so when you've
Oh.
got some fixtures with hard water, you have
Yeah.
hard water for 40 years,
Yeah.
it's about time.
Yeah. Well, I'm more interested in like maybe like a slow living sort of pace this
Yeah,
year.
sure.
And like spending more time making flower arrangements. I made a few this year, but I was so busy with other things, and my brain, like the capacity that my brain could handle was not that much because of everything going around here, that I wasn't even interested in making flower arrangements as much.
Yeah.
You go through seasons every year. There's different seasons of life where you're more into certain things. But I just want to focus on making what we have work better, more practical, set it up better, and make things pretty.
Sure.
Oh,
So no big land purchases or...
not that I'm planning on. No, not that I'm planning on, for sure. We're not going to even do anything with the piece we bought last year.
Right.
It'll sit there again for another year while we kind of decide. But yeah, there's plenty to do here. And I do think with the kids, so we talked about this in the recap of 2022, I think the year with the kids it's going to be so fun. I mean, Samantha just turning 2 and Benjamin will be turning 5. Great ages. I mean, every age with the kids has been great, but once they hit 2, that's like my jam.
Yeah.
And they're so fun. So I'm really looking forward to that. Anyway, that is all we have for you today. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and all of our videos. We really do appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.